For more, let's turn to Kaveh Madani. He's a renowned environmental scientist and educator and director of the United Nations University Institute for Water, Environment and Health. Kaveh, good to have you on the program once again. Clearly, a lot has changed since that first Earth Day event back in 1970, good and bad. But let's focus for now on some of the most notable achievements that you've seen, not the last 55 years, well, let's just say the last 10 years.
If you look at the past 10 years, I think the most important achievement collectively is the Paris Agreement. So in 2015, the countries, the UN member states came to a conclusion that climate change is an existential threat to humanity, and agreed that they have to curb the emissions and to be able to protect essentially humankind. And a lot has been gained afterwards and even before that, especially when it comes to renewable energies, which is the focus of this year's Earth Day. So if you want to look back the last 55 years, the start of the modern environmental movement in 1970, and then what we achieved later on, we can really be proud of humans and what they have achieved, but we know that things are not as good as they were just 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, and there are clearly tremendous challenges that we're still facing. And what do you see, Kaveh, as perhaps the most pressing issue right now facing our world, the planet?
The most important thing is that we are now essentially moving backward, ignoring the importance of environment. This is by far more important than any other thing. That the fact that not only we have forgotten it in some of the slogans of political parties around the world, we hear advocacy against the environment, arguments that the environmental movements have been the cause of essentially economic recession and economic problems around the world, and we now see parties proudly coming out and saying that they're going to stop different environmental initiatives because they want to create jobs, they want to rescue the economies, and then even they come up with new slogans saying that, for example, the tariff wars would be good for the planet, or the plastic straws can be better for the planet. This is scary. This is another level of actually anti-environmental movement.
Yeah, and that actually, you bring up another point, misinformation. I mean, there are individuals online that really spread false, misleading information about all those things you mentioned. And how much of a problem is that? How do you fight something like that?
This is the scary part, and I think we are not ready for it. I think the scientific community wasn't ready for this level of misinformation. I was looking at the White House's the new statement on the Earth Day, and how some narratives have been manipulated. There are narratives that are against science or are not scientifically valid, and so it's no longer about individuals. We are now have governments that are promoting some false narratives or inaccurate narratives. And I think the scientific community is too shocked to be able to handle this situation. But we have no choice but staying factual, and looking at science, using science as our weapon for essentially enlightening societies, raising awareness, and asking people to rethink when they get a chance, because it's the era of misinformation and disinformation, and it's no longer about individuals. We have governments that are using the platforms available to promote misinformation.
And quickly, Kaveh, we're running out of time. Last year was the hottest year on record. We saw hurricanes, wildfires, droughts, crop failure. Can we turn this around with all these things we're facing? The misinformation and an administration in the U.S. that is clearly bent on forging ahead with environmental rollbacks.
Asieh, 9 years ago on this day, 120 countries signed the Paris Agreement. They agreed to take efforts, and 9 years later now, things have changed. Unfortunately, the new movements and the leadership of some governments is encouraging countries to leave and the Paris Agreement and don't take action. We cannot reverse this trend. We can just slow it down. And with what's happening right now, the progress on even slowing down the warming is going to be even, I think,
Yeah.
worse than before. And this is sad. What we should not lose hope. We have to try harder and harder.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. We're out of time. Kaveh Madani, as always, thank you so much. And that is the world today. Thank